Greetings, kindred. Wow, apologies for not doing the New Moon podcast earlier on in the month. It's been a really busy couple of weeks for me in other areas of my life. But thank you very much to those of you that reached out to me to ask me if I was well. I'm absolutely fine. I've just been so busy. You know, we did have a new addition join our family around the new moon, so that was all a bit chaotic, and that's why I didn't get out the New Moon podcast. And I've been babysitting for just over a week, and I haven't been at home, so I'm recording this on the 20th in the morning here in the UK, but I probably won't be able to upload it until later because I don't have access to Wi-Fi at the moment. So, and also I wanted to thank those of you that have been giving me your feedback on the readings I've been doing. So I've still been doing readings, and I've had some really lovely feedback. So I just want to say I love you and I appreciate you. So we have the full moon. Actually, the full moon's tonight here in the UK on the 20th. But, the full moon doesn't reach its peak until just after midnight, like 0:54 actually in the morning of the 21st. So an hour after midnight tonight, the full moon will reach its peak here in the UK. Now the full moon will reach its peak on the 20th of September at 19:54 in the EDT time zone, and on the 21st of September again at 9:54 in the AEDT time zone. So our full moon actually takes place in the sign of Pisces in the true lifetime sky. So that's a very sensitive moon, a very emotional moon. And, at a full moon, our sun is always in opposition. So, and our sun is actually conjunct Mars. Now, Mars crossed over the sun earlier on this week. And, the energies, I'm sure many of you felt that energies have really heightened. They've become very active, very intense. And I've seen a few reports again of like this crazy energy, like what we had in August, funny enough. All the animals started going crazy. Children were waking up in the night. And it was a very similar energy this time because, the children I'm babysitting at the moment, they didn't get much sleep through the night. There's 2 dogs here. They were barking and howling all night. And, I'm not quite sure what's going on. I have a feeling because the whole solar system is going through a shift at the moment. And, the Earth is not exempt from that. But, the Mars conjunct the Sun, that would have hyped things up as well. The Sun and Mars are both very, very masculine energies. But our Pisces full moon is a very feminine energy. But Pisces can also be very much, not in their own self-power. Sometimes they can go off the scale with their own identity, or because they're so empathic to their environment. So they feel things so inwardly. It's like, it's well known that Pisces can actually take on the energies of their environment and consider them their own because they're just so powerful. So with the Mars and the Sun in Virgo, and Virgo is very analytical, and Virgo can be very judgmental, very criticising. And overall with the chart wheel, I am seeing very strong opinions being formulated. And, I just think really many of us will have to take a step back and take some deep breaths. I feel that should have already been happening so I'm probably a bit late with that remark, but, you know, it's still apparent, and it will be, you know, right up until Mercury goes retrograde on the 27th, Mars and the Sun will still be fairly close. So let me just look at the chart wheel now. Yeah, so the Sun is at 4 degrees and Mars is at 10 degrees in Virgo. And there's a 6-degree difference. So I feel the energies are kind of subsiding a little bit, but it's left everyone feeling quite emotional and probably a little bit out of sorts, you know, especially emotionally. I mean, here in the UK, the moon is actually in conjunction to the midheaven. And the midheaven is all about, you know, the public face. You know, the midheaven is associated to the 11th house of career and public status. I mean, in 12 sign astrology, that's considered to be the 10th house. But in the true lifetime sky, the 11th house is the house of career and public status, because the 10th house actually belongs to Ophiuchus right now. So with the moon conjunct the midheaven, I don't know whether something's going to come out in the media. And the reason why I say that is because of what's going on with the North Node, you know, and other aspects in the chart. I just feel that this side of the year, especially here in the UK, we are going to see the damage that has been done through, you know, the closures. And apparently they are stopping the funding that they've been helping businesses and individuals with. Apparently that's all coming to an end. As far as I know right now, I don't feel that's changed. I haven't heard that it's changed. So I think we're going to start to see, you know, just how much damage has been done. And I do feel from here onwards, you know, leading up to 2022, you know, this is where we're going to actually see the changes taking place as well throughout the world. I mean, here in the UK, they've agreed now that we don't need passports, but let's not hold our breath and let's not get too comfortable with that. Let's stay on the ball, because, you know, they do have a way of bringing things back in again. But I do feel there's some emotional messages coming forth that are gonna kind of trigger opinions, basically. So there'll be those that will be not so pleasant, you know, with their opinions, but there'll be others that will be very healing and very soothing. So, you know, there's like this dynamic going on. And we've been seeing that off and on anyway, you know, over different subjects over the last year or so. But, you know, I just feel there's something more coming forth. I feel this winter in the UK or in the Northern Hemisphere is going to be very telling. You know, I did actually do a podcast a while back on like how the outer planets are moving into different signs over the next couple of years. You know, and although Neptune actually moved into Pisces earlier on this year, in April, he never moved more than 1 degree into Pisces. So basically he was just dipping his toe in the water. And I would say from April up to this point, or up until September, we have all been in this kind of like daze. It's been very hard to separate reality from our visions or our dreams or maybe our expectations. But, you know, Neptune is now retrograded back into Aquarius. He did that this month. I think it was around about the 6th, I'm not sure. But he will enter back into Pisces next year. And what I'm going to do actually, that podcast I did about the outer planets, I think it was between like 2021 and 2024 I did that video for. I'm going to actually post the link to that video in the description box below, so you can, listen back to that. I need to listen back to it myself actually, because I can't remember what I said, but for some reason that video's come to mind. So I feel from here onwards, we're going to actually see that whatever I said in that video playing out. We also have a Yod this full moon, and it's with Chiron in sextile to the Black Moon Lilith. Now Chiron is in Pisces at the moment. Well, he's been there for quite some time actually, and he's in sextile to the Black Moon Lilith. So this is an opportunity for us to really look at some deep, deep wounds that are based on fear. And with the Black Moon Lilith in Taurus, it's all about, it could even be physical wounds, to be honest. It could be ill health or facing up to fears around health or wounds, or, it can even be like past issues coming to light, like childhood issues, rejection or abandonment. But, on a global level, I would say that people are feeling emotional about their material security, because like I said, this side of the year is going to be very telling. But there is an opportunity there for us to really look at the shadow, not just in ourselves, but in humanity as a whole, and really come to terms with things, and speak up. It's time for us to speak up and be honest, and we can do that in a diplomatic way. We don't have to place our point of view from a self-defensive kind of mechanism. We can actually do it as a solid individual, a person in their self-power, and this is my thoughts, this is my opinions. And if we have to agree to disagree, then all well and good. But because they are both in quincunx, the trigger is actually aimed towards Venus, who's in Libra right now in the true lifetime sky. Venus is at 3 degrees in Libra. Now Venus in Libra really is all about peace and harmony, and, it's a beautiful creative energy. Venus in Libra loves everything to look good, but they don't often speak up because they just want to keep the status quo. They just want to keep everything, on a balanced level. But it's not really a balanced level. It's like people pleasing, striving to keep the peace. So, yeah, it's like, all right then, or not wanting to speak up because they don't want to, disharmonize the energy or the atmosphere. So, sometimes people suffer in silence and tend to be the martyr or, become the victim in life. And this is what we all need to avoid. We need to speak our minds, but speak our minds from the heart, from, a place of unconditional love. Because, for some reason I'm feeling here that certain situations are going to go on where we do need to speak up. And even though here in the UK things have kind of calmed down a little bit, there's still stuff going on that people don't agree with. And, if we look at other countries around the world, they're still in chaos right now. And, it's a very chaotic energy out there. And, I feel here in the UK, we're in the eye of the storm right now. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you that insight. Because we do have the Black Moon Lilith also in opposition to the goddess Juno, who's at 6 degrees in the constellation of Ophiuchus in the true lifetime sky. Now, I said the Black Moon Lilith is in Taurus. This is all about our shadow. It's all about, feeling conscious about our bodies, feeling conscious about our finances, our material security, and, in opposition to Juno, the goddess Juno, who's in Ophiuchus, who's all about, it doesn't matter about money. As long as we're together, as long as we're a family unit, we can be creative in other ways, let's commit to ourselves, let's commit to our mission, let's commit to our health. But because the Black Moon Lilith is actually in conjunction to the goddess Ceres, which is all about self-nurture or nurturing others, again, I just feel, because the goddess Juno is also about keeping quiet and accepting abuse, or being abused, especially in Ophiuchus, and she's been there for quite a while, but, like I said before, this could be like the abused wife or the abused child, or the abused people. So, Ophiuchus is all about alchemy, the medical industry, our inner temple, our connection to the divine. But, it's also a political sign, but it's so against man-made structures, man-made politics, anything man-made. Ophiuchus isn't against it, but Ophiuchus has suffered because of it. So, there's been a lot of suffering, and I feel the Black Moon Lilith is trying to make us look at that, go deep and look at it and face it. Face our demons, face the shadow that the world is going through at the moment, the darkness and the shadow. And because, the goddess Juno is also in quincunx to Uranus in Aries, well, actually is retrograding in Aries. So Uranus actually went into retrograde on the 20th of August. And, I think coming up between the 20th of August and the end of August, I think it was a little bit of, a more stable time, because Uranus in Aries, wow, that's major. It's really fast paced, it's really erratic and impulsive, and it can really take things from one direction to another in a click of a finger, So Uranus at the 20th of August did slow down and come to a stop for a little while. So things slowed down for us, the energy slowed down a bit. But now he's picked up pace again, only in retrograde. That feeling of being pulled through a hedge backwards, that saying? Well, this is what I feel we're all going through at the moment. We're all being pulled through a hedge backwards. And with Uranus in quincunx to the goddess Juno in Ophiuchus, it's like this really unbalanced energy coming in when it comes to our spirituality, our health, higher consciousness, our marriage commitments, our work commitments, so I feel our commitments are just all over the place right now. We don't know whether we're coming or going, and that's for many people. So, this full moon's quite a triggering time, and I feel that we just need to stop and take that deep breath from time to time So definitely do deep breathing techniques, definitely do some meditation. If you feel like you're getting hyped up, it can be emotional as well. There could be stuff coming out that could be quite emotional. Seeing changes in our environment will be quite emotional, because even though we've been going through what we've been going through the last year or so, we haven't really seen the full effects of the damage that is created. And, I feel that will be coming to the surface. So, the good thing is that this is a time for us to really get creative and find new ways of doing things, or, maybe venturing into different things when it comes to our career, when it comes to even the environment we're living in. I feel like mental health is back on the rise, or it's all coming to light. There's just so many different aspects of life that is coming to light, and what has been occurring over the last few years coming to light. And as we enter into 2022, which is, a 6 energy numerology. Now, to me, the number 6 is very much, the humanitarian number. And, I just feel from here onwards, like I've always said, soul tribes coming together. It's going to be big, but it's going to be community based. And I just feel that, from here onwards, we're going to see that connection. We're going to see just how different our way of life is going to become. So definitely watch out for that, because we can turn negative into positive, although it's a little bit chaotic. But I think we're all getting used to that chaos in a way, It's really beautiful, really, how humans do adapt so quickly. All beings on the earth seem to have this ability to adapt. And, we only get stuck if we hold on to what we can't have, or to what's unavailable. So, as painful as things may be, or as upsetting as things may be to some, you have to find a way forward. We have to find a way through things, and not be frightened to venture into something new, but still stay in your self-power, still have your opinions. And, if people do get angry or upset because you have an opinion different from theirs, just bless them with love, and move on. Just keep it moving. That's my favourite motto lately. We also have the autumn equinox on the 22nd, which is like the day after the full moon. So I feel that's going to be very similar energies. Now Mercury went into pre-shadow on the 6th of September. So, there's been a lot going on there, especially since Mercury is also in Virgo. And, when Mercury went into pre-shadow, he was actually in opposition to Chiron. So I feel a lot of people have been coming to terms with old issues, or, with what's going on in the medical industry at the moment. Mercury's really been analysing exactly what's what. And like I said, things have been coming to light. Now Mercury will actually go into retrograde on the 27th of September. Now, the Sun and Mars will still really be in conjunction. The Sun will be at 10 degrees, Mars will be at 14 degrees. They're very similar numbers really that happened at the full moon. So, but this time they're both in trine to the North Node. So, where the Sun and Mars are being very dominating at the moment, Mars is the ruler of Aries, the protector of the underdog. And I associate him with Anubis, Moses, in his younger days, in his youth. So, when I say being in your self-power, and I know I keep repeating this, but I just feel it's so important that we really, not get stuck in our heads, but really look at things from a logical point of view. Because the Sun and Mars are really on us to do that. They're really trying to enforce that. But of course, at the full moon, with the moon in Pisces, sometimes it can be too emotional. But sometimes we need to get in our emotions. Sometimes we need to release emotion. Sometimes we do need to feel sorry for ourselves and express how we feel. Especially if we have been people pleasing or giving our power away. But we shouldn't feel, if we've kind of like just come into realization about something, and this can be in all aspects of our life, in our work, in our relationships, with what's going on in the world. If we are coming to some form of realization, then just embrace it. There's no such thing as only thinking one way all our lives. We go through life to evolve. We're born to evolve. We're born to mature. We're born to expand our minds. So we should never feel bad about feeling like we was wrong, and I feel so bad about that now. It's not about that, because they say progress and realization are the best gifts we can have in life, because that helps our soul to evolve. So, normally I promote the feminine energy, the feminine, the Mother Earth, the nurturer, the unconditional love, the spirituality. But this time I'm actually promoting the masculine. Some of us, not all of us, some of us need to tame our egos, but I think a lot of us need to incorporate ego. Our shadow, our ego is very much a part of us and always will be. It's all about mastery. So, that's really coming into my mind at this Mercury retrograde, or even at this full moon. I just feel that we do need to stand strong now, more so than ever, all around the world. But here in the UK, we've come pretty far. And I just feel that we need to stay there, stay alert, and watch the world as well, and support the world. We could all do with supporting each other right now. So, when Mercury actually retrogrades through Virgo, sometimes we can just be a little bit too ahead of ourselves, It's very hard to bring our way of thinking into the material world. It can tend to be very opinionated, very judgmental, doesn't have much patience. But, Mercury will also be trine to Jupiter. So I really do feel there is a lot of mind expansion going on, and there will be differences of opinion. But we have to maintain that respect for each other and, maintain all about choice, even though it's going to be painful. I said before, we can all be over concerned about each other, but we all must allow each other to have their own opinions, as hard as it may be to have those different opinions. But the one thing we mustn't do is enforce our opinions onto others. Maybe we can't relate to other people, or we might get frustrated with other people. But at the end of the day, we have to just accept it for what it is, and just really try and find those that we do connect with, those that we can gel with, and those that have a similar understanding to our own. And like I said, the 2022 frequency, wow, that's coming in next year. It's all about unity, uniting with those of a like mind, but not outcasting those that don't have a like mind, but just accepting that they've got a different approach, or their path in life is different. We all come onto the earth with our own life's journey. And, we are contracted to meet certain people along the way. And it's to grow and evolve. But it doesn't mean to say it's a lone journey, although for some it is a lone journey. But those that are on a lone journey are kind of comfortable in their own company. But I just feel that, soul families will start to unite. And, it's going to be powerful. Powerful. The energies coming in are going to be powerful for the next few years. And, we still got a bit to get through up until 2024, when Uranus finally transits into Taurus, which will give us a little bit more stability. It does have its shadow, but, it's a little bit more stable than, going through Aries at the moment. Although, Uranus going through Aries is very kind of like, fighting for humanity, fighting for human rights, but it causes a lot of chaos. But when he enters into Taurus in 2024, I just feel that's where we're all going to see things clearly when it comes to our finances, when it comes to the economy. I said, the one thing I do remember about that previous podcast that I did is that, there will be some form of stability, but whether it's in our favour or not, we will have to wait and see. For some, it will be great. For others, it won't. It's hard to please everybody anyway, as you know, but we've still got a few years to get through yet. But I'm really proud of humanity right now, on the whole. And, just keep it up, keep the faith, keep in your power. This is a good time for grounding right now, so go walk barefoot on concrete or on grass. Put your hands on a concrete wall. That definitely helps. And deep breaths. We're going to need to take some deep breaths and support each other. Sending you all peace and much love.